That is a tasty beverage. Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the number one podcast about stuff important to everybody across the world, across the astral plane, across the universe, across from Crystal Lake to Haddonfield. It is the number one podcast of all that stuff, and it is proven by people far smarter than us, so don't question it and don't dare look it up because what I speak is the truth. Another week, another episode 122. We're back again and ready to talk about a bunch of stuff and things. So without further ado, let's get our one and only esteemed colleague, the Dreadlock Power Ranger himself, Mr. Christian.
Feels good to be back, everyone, for another episode. I don't even remember what number we're on when it comes to episodes. We've been doing it for so long now.
122.
122, great. You probably already said that, so if you're having to repeat yourself, I apologize.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, 122. We're doing it again.
Do you ever worry about what I'm gonna say when I introduce you? When I give you like all these random titles and names, you're kind of like what's his face from House of Dragon, where people are just throwing names at him, just waiting for one to stick.
Kristen Cole.
Aegon. You're like
Aegon. Yeah.
He's literally just throwing shit at you, just like Christian the Dreadlock Wizard Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Listen till
what happens is like, it's not that I'm worried about what you're gonna say. It's just that when you're saying whatever the thing is, it's off the top of your head. I'm like, okay, don't laugh, let him finish. Don't laugh, let him finish. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, all right.
It's really funny.
So what we like to do to start every episode, we like to talk about what we're watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. I have a feeling Christian's is going to be a rant, so I'm going to start because I have a feeling Christian's
is kind of, it kind of is.
How did I know? How did I sense that it was going to be a rant? Okay, so I'm saving something on purpose, but obviously we watched something we'll talk about later. I have, Christian, you'll be proud of me, I have, time of recording this, watched almost all of the final season of Cobra Kai. I'm like,
nice.
Made it a focal point that I'm like, I'm getting through this and being done. Like, I'm ready just to be done at this point. Not gonna lie, I wasn't like super stoked for the final season because I'm just to the point where I'm like, let's end. We keep bringing back people and doing shit, and I'm just ready to kind of like, let's just get there. Let's get to where we need to be. These kids, I'm starting to really not believe they're in high school anymore. Like, Blue Beetle's got a pretty thick 5 o'clock shadow. Like, you're kind of not really selling me on it anymore. We're kind of past that point. But I think I'm on like episode 9. I think there's 10 episodes. So when the podcast's over, I'll probably finish it tonight, and be done with that. And then I don't know, Christian. There's a couple shows I'm really debating on, and I don't know. Blue Lock is one of them. But I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet. I haven't decided. Have you watched the latest Cobra Kai?
I haven't yet. I haven't watched it yet. A buddy of mine that lives out here by me wants to watch it together, so I'm kind of waiting on him before I pull the trigger on that.
All right. So I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. Wait till you watch, and then we'll talk about it. And yeah, so I'm pushing through that. I did get a chance to start a show that I watched a year or two ago, and didn't get to watch the second season, and that's Heels with your guy Green Arrow, Stephen Amell.
Oh, Stephen Amell, yeah, Stephen Amell, yeah.
And the dude from, I don't know his name, but it said something about Loki, but I don't know about that. He's in Vikings, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And CM Punk's in it, and then some other people. But I started watching the second season of that. And it's all right so far. I mean, it is what it is. It's a show about pro wrestling. Well, indie pro wrestlers, in like a small town in Georgia and all that stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. But watching that or trying to watch that, I have watched the first 2 episodes now of Yellowstone as they come out. We're keeping up with that when it comes out, so that's fun. And that's really about it.
Even though they don't have the character that you've been following forever.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just straight up just capped him. They capped him in like the first 10 minutes. I was like, damn, they did him dirty.
I remember you were talking about it last episode. Was it on screen or was it off screen?
There's some, and I don't know any of the, like, off the top of my head without, like, Googling it. I don't know what went down. I just know there was big differences. And essentially, like, it got to the point because they, like, split the season. He was like, I'm done. I'm out of this shit. And left. And so they just straight up just took him out.
Insanity,
Yeah,
man.
I was
That's
like, wow,
crazy.
that's kind of ballsy, but okay. And I mean, obviously, Kevin Costner, that's a name that has weight in Hollywood. The dude's been around for what? Since the 80s?
Forever.
Early 90s? I mean, at least
Yeah.
early 90s. Maybe. He has to be 80s, right?
I don't even remember right now, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, well, he's been around for a while. So, I mean, it's a guy that's been around, done a lot of movies, big movies and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's what I've been watching. We did have a suggestion since we're talking about what we've been watching, so I guess I'll go on and bring that up now. The one and only on the inside, he asked if, since shows are slowing down for us and we don't have a weekly discussion for a show, not for probably like another month or so, I guess, until Dexter comes out, and then we'll see how that goes. But I don't think there's anything else coming out this year. I mean, Dune is out. I just thought about Dune.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say there is another show, which is Dune, that I fully plan to watch. I haven't started it yet. I've just been really busy this week. I know IGN already gave it like the first episode
We don't
like
trust
a 5,
IGN.
but exactly. I have to see it for myself. I'm a big fan of Dune. I read the first couple books, and I know it gets weird. But then I kind of read about it. I read the old series that came out with James McAvoy, which was wild, but it followed the books pretty closely. But anyway, I'm excited to see that. Like, I'm not like super hyped for it, but I definitely want to give it a shot. Definitely want to watch it, see what they're talking about. It's the history of the Bene Gesserit. I really like the Bene Gesserit. It's like an entity in that world, so I'm excited to see what they do. And I hope it's good. Honestly, I hope it's. As long as it's not bad, I'm okay. Even if it's just like mid, I wouldn't be mad.
So I'm guessing we're gonna be doing breakdowns of that now.
I mean, I will say this: if I watch the first episode and it's dog water, then no.
Okay. Well, let's
But
get through the
I got
first episode and we'll discuss it because I'll watch the
Yeah.
first episode too. But anyways, we had a suggestion since we hit our wonderful, essentially our climax of the year on shows. I would say.
Oh, for sure. Like
Penguin.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah.
I mean, we've praised that show a ton and rightfully so, but our suggestion was to go back and watch an old show, which I have never seen. I've wanted to watch it, but I've never watched it. And I feel like you said you've watched a couple episodes, random episodes, but you haven't watched it in full either. And that show is Boardwalk Empire. It is an older one. I don't even know how old it is, but I know it's 5 seasons, roughly 12 episodes a season until the last one, then it's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in doing like a, I don't know, I mean, it's a breakdown, but almost a throwback breakdown where we just watch some episodes, or we'd probably have to like limit ourselves, be like, all right, let's watch like this many episodes this week or something.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cool to me. I'm down.
But I don't know, how many episodes would you think we could do a week? Try to.
That's
because I don't want to overdo it.
Really
we're both busy, so we don't want to like be like, let's watch 5 a week, and then we'll just be like, oh shit, I can't watch 5.
I mean, I think watching two episodes, maybe 3 episodes a week should be good.
Okay.
It just really depends on our time. Like, I don't want to say, yeah, I'm gonna watch 3 episodes for sure every week, and then get on the pod and it's like, actually, watch 1 episode. Yeah. So let's just give ourselves.
If you watch more, you can just take notes ahead and just be ready. Yeah. That's probably what we'll do. Just maybe we'll say 2 episodes a week. If we get 3, sweet. If not, we'll shoot for 2 a week. We'll talk about 2 episode segments.
Yeah.
Do you want to take on Boardwalk?
I think that's a pretty good. Well, let me say this. I think soon we should absolutely take it on. Right now, maybe not, because I know we have an idea for a couple of things to watch for cinema in general. So I think
this wouldn't be cinema. This would be its own thing.
And yeah, I think we should definitely look into.
You know how we'd have like the Penguin, then we would have cinema. So this would be like, I don't know what we would call this, just throwback shit. I don't know. I guess maybe we wouldn't have anything like, all right, so we're watching Boardwalk, blah blah. Unless there's another one. Boardwalk is a good suggestion though. Unless there's another show you would like to tackle like that.
I don't have one off the top of my head, but I know that one is a pretty good one. And just watching the little bit that I've seen of that was really cool. So I
It
enjoyed
didn't
what I
like
saw.
Prohibition or something.
Yeah.
And it's got dude in it. I can see his face. And I can't think of his name.
Hello, fellow kids. What's his name?
You know what I'm
Not
talking
James Woods, but
about?
God,
He's in a ton of stuff.
yeah, yeah. He's in
He's in Adam
Con
Sandler stuff
Air.
too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna think of his name in a second. Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi.
There you go. Good job. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may start that next week and we may wait. I don't know. I know when we get to cinema, we'll talk about it. We're kind of planning some holiday fun movies to tackle for cinema for the upcoming holidays.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe I don't know. We'll discuss it more, but I mean, I don't know. You don't want to start this week though, right?
Probably not this week.
Okay, sounds like a plan. But it's a good time during the slower period. Well, also this
Yeah,
week you can use as like a Dune tester.
yeah. Plus, at the beginning of the year, like the beginning of the next year, all of like January and part of February, it's gonna be cricket. So that'll be a good time to start
So
watching
you want to
something
wait
different.
till then to do that?
I think that's gonna be our best bet because we at least need to give ourselves, 2 weeks to watch Dune to see if it's worth our time. And if it's not, then we can probably move that forward in the schedule. But yeah, just for right now, I think the
Okay.
beginning of the year we should
We'll
start
try
that.
Dune right now and then Boardwalk, and then if you guys out there have suggestions of older shows for us to watch, hit us up with them. Yeah, I know there's got to be a bunch. I know there's stuff I've seen you haven't seen, and vice versa.
Yeah.
If Christian has his choice, he
Also,
would totally make me watch Flash or something like that. I know what he would do.
oh, dude, we're if it was up to me, we would be set for the next year and a half. Like,
Oh
don't
my
even worry.
god.
But it's not up to me. So
Yeah, but if you guys have
also,
suggestions,
I
maybe
saw that
I don't know what
that
should we
Jordan
make
was in
that
the
a
chat.
segment? Throwback shows, because it gets to a point on some shows where we get kind of bogged down. Like there was a point where we had Boys, we had House of Dragon, and there was a third show, wasn't there? There was like three shows we had to cover
Yeah,
each week, and
there's
I
a
was like,
lot.
damn, what was the
That's what
other
happens
show?
typically in the summer, like the
Invincible,
beginning of the
wasn't it?
summer.
No, Invincible wasn't coming out then. What was it?
Nah, I don't remember, but I can look at my notes and check it out. But like
I just remember we were like,
typically,
God, let's get
yeah,
through
typically the
this.
beginning of the summer, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So there's points where it'd be hard to do throwback shows because we have way too many current shows. But slow periods we could totally like tackle something. That's a good
I agree.
suggestion though. Thank you on the inside, M. McGinnis. We appreciate it. But yeah, so that's about all that I can talk about right now for what I've been into. Not very exciting, but there's some stuff I want to talk about after we hear what Christian's been into.
My what I've been into, like what I've been doing this week, will be a little bloated, but that's just because that was the only place I could fit this information where it made sense, since I don't have much everywhere else. I wanted to say that I finished reading a book last week. If you guys remember, I was reading um, Outsider by Stephen King. And I didn't even mean to go down like a Stephen King rabbit hole. I know I read his son's book, which was Nosferatu, and then that led me into The Outsider because I was kind of on a King kick afterwards. Read The Outsider, finished it, and I did enjoy it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was actually really good. Um, I did a combination of reading the physical copy and audio. I listened to the audio towards the beginning and then switched to. I'm sorry, it's backwards. I was reading the physical copy, but I had to return that. So then I started reading or listening to the audio. But I did mostly the physical copy, which was nice, just to have, in my hands. But I will say, if you're into audios, like Sin, I know you are, the person who's reading or narrating the audio is God. And now I've forgotten his name, which is crazy. But he's in so much stuff. He's in so much stuff, and as soon as I start like really thinking about what he's in the Halloween trilogy that we hate. He's Officer Will. It's Will Patton. It's Will Patton. He's
Oh,
the officer who got his neck cut and then he lives somehow. And he's like, him and Lori clearly have a thing. It's that guy. He's the narrator. Not so. He narrates the whole thing and it's pretty sweet. Like his voice is perfect for a story like that. So if you ever get into the mood to listen to the audio, that's the way to go. I did want to talk about the book briefly, without ruining too much, if you think you might want to listen to it. So what I'm going to do is kind of start talking about the book, and then if it gets interesting to you and you think, hey, I think I'm going to read this, let me know, and I'll kind of back up. But in the book, it's like I said, very different. At the beginning, it is a police procedural book. Essentially, it's like an episode of CSI, right? Like there's this guy Terry Maitland who is a monarch of his town. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody loves him. He's a baseball coach. Sorry, yeah, baseball coach. He's known around the town. Literally, you can't go anywhere in the town without somebody knowing who he is. Um, he gets arrested very, very publicly for murder that we, the readers, know he didn't commit, but the police have all this evidence against him. They have his evidence at the crime scene. They have his pictures everywhere. People saw him, like all this stuff, like eyewitness reports. Everything leads them to him. There's even like semen samples at the murder scene. Like it's crazy. This kid gets essayed with a tree branch, which is really crazy to say out loud, and then murdered as well. On top of that, which is just terrible. They go after this guy. His lawyer shows up, and then they find out that he wasn't in town during the actual murder taking place. But the cops, they figure it has to be him. He can't be in two places at once. But because they arrested him without interviewing him first, it makes them look really bad, really incompetent. But they've started up something. So what happens is, and this is really early in the book, so I don't feel like I'm ruining anything. But at the very beginning of the book, he's going to get indicted. They take him out to the courthouse, and before he even gets into the courthouse, the father of the kid who was unfortunately killed shows up and then caps him right there, shoots him in the heart. So he dies, and with his last words, he still says that he's innocent. So the main character that we follow, which is the main cop on the leading the investigation, follows all the breadcrumbs, and then we find out that something out of this world, if you will, is the cause of all of these problems. Um, they call the like creature of sorts in this book the outsider, so that's what I'm just going to refer to it as. Um, I really like the way that this outsider works. It's very Pennywise esque. I do have a working theory right now that the outsider is actually a child of Pennywise. I've talked about this before on the podcast, but after finishing the book in its entirety, it makes even more sense. They have very similar powers, which tells me that they come from about the same place. About, and the reason why I say about is because Pennywise, its powers work on a more broad scale, right? Like Pennywise has the entire town of Derry under its spell, but the outsider, its powers kind of work person to person. You know what I mean? Like he can't just like sweep the town of their memories. He can't make everybody see what they want to see, but he can really fuck with one person at a time. So the way that his powers works are really cool. And we know that Pennywise eats people essentially, but their fear is what tenderizes the meat, as he says in the book itself. But for this creature, the outsider, yes, it eats people. Sadness is the seasoning. So he works with sadness. So he takes people out that are really sad, really depressed, really going through it. You know what I'm saying? And with kids, it's really easy to get to feast on sad kids because kids get sad about things really quickly. Also, their emotions are like uncontrollable. So if a kid is sad, they are brokenhearted, right? That doesn't last too long, but it definitely happens. So this creature feeds on that. And you know how Pennywise can kind of turn into like anything that you fear to make you more scared so you taste better. This creature essentially assimilates you. So if he gets a little bit of your blood, he turns into you, essentially a perfect copy. And that's how it gets around and then frames all these other people for these murders that they didn't commit. But like I said, really cool story. I loved a side character in this. Her name was Holly Gibney. I really, really, really liked her. When she first was introduced to this book, it slowed the fuck down. The book slowed way down, but she was so interesting that I didn't care that it slowed way down from the action that we were getting into from the outsider. it made it really cool to read. And then you find out, well, I found out by reading this book that Holly Gibney is a character in another trilogy that Stephen King wrote, which is the trilogy of books for Mr. Mercedes. So now I really want to go back and read that because I kind of know exactly what happens throughout that trilogy because she says pretty much point blank what happens, but it sounds super interesting, and I'm excited to read how that goes. And then she also has her own book that Stephen King wrote. He published not too long ago, like within the last 4 years. So it's really cool to see that, and I really want to get into those four books. But I'm gonna try to take my time because I'm gonna read maybe one or two more books before I get right back into Game of Thrones, and then I'll take a break and then I'll get back. But we'll do that. But anyway, just wanted you guys to know The Outsider, 8 out of 10 story. Really liked it. The ending left a little to be desired, not because it was just a bad ending, but because it wrapped up quicker than I thought with the climax of the battle of the outsider. I wish that the battle just was a little longer, if I'm being honest. But I'm glad it didn't drag. So I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, but like Stephen King could have easily drug that out. But I'm glad he didn't because it didn't need to be drug out. I just wanted a little more. So I guess that means I was interested, right? I was invested. But I really liked this book. There's a couple characters in it that were just gross and I wanted them gone. There was a couple characters in this book that I wish made it. There's a couple characters in this book that I wish had more to do. But with that said, I really, really enjoyed this book. It was a great read. I wish I read this a little earlier during the spooky season, but I'm glad I finally got it. Another Stephen King book off the list, and I'm excited to get into the next one, which I've already started, and it's one of his shorter stories called The Library Policeman. I'm not far enough in the book to tell you guys if I like it or not, but right now I'm just kind of coasting. I hope that it picks up. I hope that it gets a little better. The kind of creature that we have in this book is cool so far, but I need more to stay interested. So that's all I can tell you at the moment. But aside from that, still playing Sparking Zero. I played some people in real life last weekend at the time of this recording. Had a lot of fun. Won half my matches, lost the other half. I did way better at the beginning than I did at the end. But I will say, for those of you who haven't played Sparking Zero and plan to play it, and those of you who've been playing it, people can just pick like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and beat you with one combo and a special, right? So it's really hard to get past that because I don't find enjoyment playing those characters. Like they're cool, they have really cool special moves and stuff, but like just playing the game, I find no enjoyment playing those types of characters. Like my main character for that game is Future Gohan. Future Gohan has a pretty strong special. Other than that, like after his ultimate attack, he just has really basic stuff. He has a basic combo, basic Kamehameha, basic Masenko. Like he's not doing anything crazy. So I really like playing with that character. He's one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball as a whole. So just fun to play with. And speaking of Dragon Ball, I did get some new cards from the Akira Toriyama box. Those of you listening can't see the cards, but those of you watching can see them kind of in the camera. But I got some really cool ones here. Beast Gohan was one of those cards that I got that I really enjoyed. So if you're watching, you can see him there.
That's a sick card.
Old stamp. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, dude. That card was excellent. There was a couple of other cards that I really really liked too. Um, we got our mommy Android card, of course. For those of you who know who she is, you know. There was like two more cards that I absolutely wanted to show off because I thought they were really cool. Orange Piccolo was really nice. I really like that one. I might actually draw Orange Piccolo here soon. I'm trying to take a quick break from drawing Dragon Ball because I know I have a Dragon Ball picture like every day for like a week, and I even have more I'm trying to finish currently. Sin, I know you like Trunks. He's your favorite. There's a really cool Trunks card there.
There's my guy.
Yeah, yeah. The Trunks cards in this set are sick, dude. But these cards are solely for collecting, not for playing the game. This is Future Gohan here, one of my favorites in the set. I really love Future Gohan. Yeah, man, his whole look is just nice. I really liked it. The only thing that would make Future Gohan better to me, aside from him being alive or wish back or whatever, would be like seeing him in Piccolo's uniform because that's what I'm used to, and I'd really like to see that. But sick. Oh, and then Perfect Cell got a really cool card too. I really like that one. Yeah, it's sick. Like I said, it's a lot of cards in here that are cool, but I didn't want to hold up the podcast for 40 hours showing you guys all the cards I just got. But anyway, With that said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and move it on. Other music new. I've actually been on a retro kick. I've been listening to a lot of Deftones the last week, so
Ooh,
been
what
doing that.
Deftones?
Around the Fur and White Pony, those two albums.
Nice, nice, nice.
Those are honestly those are only two Deftones albums that I like actually listen to. I didn't really listen to anything else growing up, and I'm willing to listen to their other stuff just to see what they have. But those are my two favorites.
Okay. Nice, nice.
Oh yeah, I did forget something. There's not a whole lot of news coming up this week. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the year. But I will say that the Game Awards, they're talking about what categories they're going to start nominating for. They're talking about what games are being nominated for game. And there's some controversy with that right now because one of the games that's being nominated is a game that actually just won last year, which is Elden Ring, because it has a DLC that came out this year that a lot of people are playing. And it's really good, and it made it eligible somehow for it to be Game of the Year again. I think that if that's the case, then we should just make another category, new category for DLC, because gamers know that when you buy a game, they announce the DLC most of the time pretty much at the launch of the game, but you won't get that DLC for, 8 to 12 months later most of the times. So I think they should just make a new category for that, just to make it fair for all the games that did come out this year that deserve that spot. Like I think, for an example, Black Myth Wukong deserves to absolutely be on that list, if not Game of the Year. That game was fantastic. Um, I still haven't even beat that game. I probably won't ever beat it, but fantastic game nonetheless. And then other news, still in the gaming world, is for the MK1 players. Ghostface is now live. You can play him now if you bought the $40 DLC that gives you the little bit of story and then the extra characters that are going to come out month to month. So Ghostface was the first character that they dropped, which they pretty much had to drop him first because people didn't want to wait for these other characters. He was the most anticipated one, so of course they would drop him first. I will say, from what I've seen, his gameplay looks cool. He seems to be like a mid tier character, which is fine. I personally really like Ghostface's look. I like that they got Roger L. Jackson to do the voice. That's really cool. And then his fatalities are really nice. But if you guys play Mortal Kombat, the fatalities are really cool, but they get boring really fast. Brutalities seem to be nice as well. But other than that, like I just like the look of Ghostface. Like it's a simple design. They changed the mask up. They changed the knife up. It looks cool. I'm excited to see more gameplay. And then his interactions with the other characters are really nice. There is lore for his character inside the game that I'm not the most on board with, but whatever. He's in the game. You get to play him if you pay the $40. I'm not sure if he's available to purchase standalone, but if he is, I might do that so that I can play that character. But I just don't want to pay another $40 on top of the probably $100 already spent on Mortal Kombat. But yeah, that's all the news that I have. That's what I've been watching, listening to, reading, all that. Sin on to the next.
All right, so before I get in really upsetting Christian, I'm going to give him an appetizer so I can get him nice and riled up to start. But
Okay.
last week we talked about this and it happened, and I know Christian watched it and I watched it, and apparently 108 million people also watched it. Tyson Jake Paul fight. Well, I say watched it loosely because a lot of you got to see the spinning buffering thing because like we speculated, and I mean everybody pretty much knew it was coming, but with that many people that have Netflix, I forget what the subscription rate is, like how many. It's like 200 something million in it. It's insane. It's a lot of people, but you had to know it was going to get bogged down with a fight included in your subscription to the service, and it did. It got bogged down. It would crack me up because like I was doing stuff and it would give me like the network error. It's like, let's check your internet from Netflix, and it's like, oh, your internet's fast. Everything seems to be good. Must be on our end. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like there's literally everybody everywhere talking about it's your shit. But I gotta say the first fight, I think he was an influencer. I don't really know. Fought somebody. It was, man, the dude humped the guy in the corner. So that kind of I was like, wow, we're off to a great start for this fight. The second and third fights, I'm not going to remember all their names. I know the one usually fights on Jake Paul fights, and it was a rematch. I think the women's fight was possibly one of the. It might have been the best fight. The other fight before it was really good too. I thought those two fights in the middle of the card were enjoyable. The gash on the one lady's eye was insane. That cut, that was nuts. And then we got to the Tyson Paul fight. I'm just kind of speeding along through it, and I'm not gonna lie, I got so excited at the very first round early in it. Tyson did his little patented head bob thing, kind of like a shark coming at Jake Paul, and you saw real fear in Jake Paul's eyes, like, I fucked up. When he started doing that, as it should have been, and then that was about it. That was about the extent of anything Tyson related. He just didn't look like he had his legs. The fight was not enjoyable. It was more sad than anything. Because I don't know if he was just holding back or, I mean, he did have a sleeve on his leg, on his knee, and he stumbled coming out for his entrance. Whether or not he said he was hurt, but he wasn't blaming on that. Whether or not that was a big factor in him not being able to do stuff. I mean, he's essentially a 60-year-old man. And I will say props to Jake Paul for actually doing the nice thing and not knocking out Tyson, because he supposedly, I mean, it looked like he could have later in the rounds when Tyson was definitely wore out. He could have really went after him and tried to hurt him, but he said he wasn't trying to hurt somebody that didn't need hurting. So props on that. But as a whole, it was not even a competitive fight, even slightly. Like, you didn't really get those glimpses of Tyson that we were hoping for. And yeah, it was. I think Christian texted me right afterwards, like, that fight was ass. But yeah, so that was the Tyson fight. I think 108 million, if I saw correctly, watched it. Which the all-time record for a pay-per-view was like 4.6 million. So insane. All right, Christian. I told you this was the appetizer. I'm not done with you yet, so go on and get warmed up.
You wanted me to rant.
No, I didn't
I'm
want
gonna
you to
do
rant.
it.
I'm just saying I know it's gonna poke the bear, and this is only the start. You're gonna rant about the next thing too. I know it's coming.
You wanted this.
I don't want it.
Yes, yeah, you do. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of it. I'm gonna give you.
Also, props
Here,
to
listen.
Tyson and Paul, because I think I saw Paul makes 40 million from that fight, and Tyson made 20, which to me seems a little backwards because Tyson's obviously the name. I know Paul's more whatever now, but I mean, I don't know. Why don't they just make 30, both 30 each? Still, that's a shitload of money though. Regardless, that's a lot of money. But okay, go ahead with your.
So the obvious I'm gonna say first.
We're gonna put a timer on your rants.
You should. This fight was, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst thing that I watched this year. It was absolutely. It was trash. Isn't good enough. Trash isn't good enough to tell you guys how annoying this was. This was painful to watch. It was annoying. It wasn't enjoyable. I just watched
one of the most painful parts is one of
the
the rounds where he's in the corner and he's like, I don't know if he's like just hurting, like, you know, whenever you run a lot in your rib, like your lungs are burning, you know. And like, you know what I'm talking about, where he's sitting in the corner and he like looks like he's in anguish, and I'm like, man,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That sucks.
It looked awful. And
not a good fight.
What I can say, like, it not only was this like the worst thing, the most painful thing to watch this year, this was absolute boo-boo shoes. You can think about it one of two ways. One way, Jake Paul, who was 27, danced around and just put the beaters on an almost 60-year-old man, right? Which is Tyson. Tyson told us years ago that he just doesn't have it in him anymore. He doesn't have that beast in him anymore. He don't want to do this anymore. He's retired fully, like all this stuff. He said this so many times. So many times he said this. He doesn't want to do it. He just wants his peace. He wants to smoke weed and like fucking take care of pigeons and shit. Like, that's all he does, you know? You look at interviews with him that happened even a year ago, right, where he's talking to people and all he talks about is his peace and like what he wants to do now and how he's not that person anymore. We watch this fight, dude, and we get all these promotional videos, which is all this fight was a giant promotion, right? Which I think we talked about last week. But like, you get there, you see all these promotions and all this BS, and it's just like Tyson comes in, he already looks sick. He looks. I'm not even trying to make excuses. Like he just
He
doesn't look
didn't
good.
look
It's just a
right
fact.
coming in.
It's just a fact. He just didn't look good at all. So we get in here into the fight.
Are you going
The
to talk
very
about
beginning of the
the
fight.
bird that Jake and Logan rolled in with? Was that a pigeon?
Yeah, it was.
They had a damn pigeon
Or
in
a
the
dove.
cage, and I
It
was
might have
like,
been. It was either a pigeon or a dove. I don't.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I was like, man, if I'm Mike Tyson, as much as he loves pigeons,
Netflix was yeah.
I'd be
Netflix was
like,
buffering
you take
so
my
much
damn
I
bird.
couldn't tell. Yeah, I couldn't tell because it was buffering so much. Like,
I also wanted him to
awful.
nibble Jake's ear in like the round one, like the first minute. Like they tie up and his face was right there. I didn't want him to bite it like Holyfield. I just wanted a little like, hi Jakey, I'm here. Like, just a little nibble. But
yeah, like so if you go back and watch the fight,
I don't want to. I have no desire to rewatch the fight.
No, nobody does. Literally nobody does. So like, but if you go back and watch like little pieces of the fight, the beginning of the fight, Tyson comes out and he's like, honestly, kind of dominating. At the very beginning, first round, he's dominating. Like he's bobbing and weaving everything. He's blocking punches with his own fist. You know what I'm saying? Like deflecting. You know what I'm saying? Like it's amazing. He hits Jake a couple times, and then if you notice that Jake like ties him up, and he's like, I don't know this for sure, and I might sound like a conspiracy theorist. I'm just telling you what it looks like to me. It looks like he's straight up talking to Tyson in his ear. After that first round, bro, they go again. Tyson's kind of doing his thing, but he's way slower. Second round, way slower already. And it's like, oh man, he's gassed after the first round. But then I'm thinking to myself, how could he be gassed after the first round, which is already short? It's like, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So nothing. So, and I'm not a boxer, so like, who am I to say that that's nothing? But like, bro, 2 minutes of exerting energy as opposed to 4 minutes, like, dude, it's crazy. So we get to the second one. He hits Jake like I think one time, and then he wraps up again. Looks like he's saying something else to him. After that, bro, literally doesn't even punch anymore. He's like not. There's a point. I swear to you, there's a point where Tyson is looking at Jake's fist, sees the punch coming. He like starts to block it and then drops his arms and just takes it. Just takes a hit. And I was just like, I'm done with this. It looks awful. And if, like I said, don't go back and watch the whole fight, but you can literally get on YouTube, look at little just clips of the highlights of the fight or whatever, and you can see that Tyson just looks like he's not even playing the game anymore. He's just there. So it looks really bad. Now, on the other side, he could have just, like I said, gassed out after the first round and just got his ass whipped for however many rounds it was. I don't even remember anymore. But it was really bad. It sucked so much to see, not just because he lost, but because the way in which he lost, he just looked like he didn't give a fuck. He was just there to get paid. That's what it
You know what this is? You know,
a commercial.
Like in pro wrestling,
it was a
whenever
fucking
you
commercial.
Have like the heel that you want to lose, and they just string it on forever and ever, and it is people keep tuning in to watch them finally lose. That's what this is with Jake. People tune in to watch him get knocked out for it to not happen, and then we go to the next fight, and they get somebody else, and it doesn't happen again. That's essentially what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Like, that's what happened. That's what happens with his brother, Logan. That's what happens with a lot of really good heels,
I think they're teasing a fight. Them two. You know that will happen eventually. It'll sell tickets because you'll want to see brother versus brother war. Whatever. Eventually they will square off.
I just don't care. This is what I'll say. I'll say this right now. This fight, not only was it absolute garbaggio, dude, Jake Paul will never be able to get away with something like this again. And what I mean by that is this. He gassed everybody up, right? Everybody comes to watch this Tyson fight. Everybody's like excited to see him get knocked out by a former beast, right? And it doesn't happen literally at all. He will never be able to sell tickets like this again because everybody's sick of his shit, bro. Like, yeah, I want to see him get knocked out, but at this point, I'd rather watch him get knocked out in like highlights on TikTok than to spend time out of my life to spend money, like anything. I don't care. And millions of people feel that same way. So I think that he made his $40 million and he's golden. He's just going to ride off of that lightning for the rest of his career because there is no way that you were coming from what we just saw to higher than that.
He's probably going after other people. like Canelo
I
and these
mean,
other
unless
boxers.
he's going after somebody who is in the boxing world right now that is a current champion
Yeah,
in that
that's
weight class,
supposedly
in
what
that
he's
weight
doing,
division.
but we'll see. I don't know. I haven't seen him do it yet, and he goes after older people. So,
He doesn't have to do that.
hey,
You
let's
know what
talk
I'm
about the
saying? Like,
highlight of it, though. We got to see Mike Tyson with them cheeks out.
bro, I saw Mike Tyson's ass for
Mike,
about
Mike
45
just
minutes.
doesn't give a shit. That should tell you right there. Like, this man just did an interview and turned around, ass out. Just walked away.
Just cakes, just sitting there. It is ridiculous.
Netflix just let it
There,
happen.
yeah, there's a lot going on
That was
in
a
this
wild
that we
event.
got
There
to
was just a
see.
lot of shit in it. Like, it was
Like
all
I
over the
said,
place.
we're not gonna get anything like that anymore because there's just no way that people are going to. I think I'd like to think people are smart enough not to fall for the
No,
bullshit again.
no,
That's what I'd like to think.
no,
I don't really believe in people like that, but I'd like
no.
to. So I mean, I'm gonna just end it there. It was garbage.
Yeah, the fight sucked.
I'm mad that I stayed up to watch that. I'm mad that I gave Netflix my time. I'm mad that I gave them my energy. I'm upset that I just didn't believe in myself enough to just watch the highlights the next day. And I'm upset that I didn't just listen to myself when I was like, Tyson, there's no way Tyson's going to win. We talked about that during the last episode of the podcast. It wouldn't, if Tyson wins, it doesn't do anything for his career because he's already a GOAT, right? But if Jake Paul loses, nobody's going to watch him fight again. So he can't lose because he's the one who has the most to gain. So it just made the most sense. We called it last week before the fight. It happened. We wasted our time. We saw Mike Tyson's fucking butthole. I'm
Well, we
just
didn't see his
done.
butthole.
It is his butthole, but we might as well, dude.
Christian was
I'm
imagining it,
just done.
apparently.
I should have went to bed, bro. I stayed up for that shit, and it was
Yeah.
stupid.
I think apparently 108 million of us did, or so.
Yeah,
There's a lot of us.
ridiculous.
All right, but I mean, first, I don't. That's the first ever like event like that on Netflix, right? Like live sporting.
Now,
event?
I mean, the first like sporting event, yeah, but their first live, no. They've done the same thing with that show, Love Is Blind, and
Oh,
they had the same
we ain't going down.
issues.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Same,
I wanted to
yeah.
bring that up. We talked about it last week, so there's that. All right, so now that we've got Christian Nyson riled up and his blood pressure slightly raised, let's go on and raise it some more. So this week, some music come out.
Hmm.
I just love the and I have thoughts about it. And it's kind of two different things. I don't know where to start. One, I will be honest, one of them I haven't listened to the album. The other I have. I plan on listening to the one album. I just haven't got to it yet. So, As I Lay Dying had a new album come out called Through Storms Ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was supposed to come out before, but as we're about to talk about, a lot of shit's happened with them. And then Linkin Park had their new album come out. I don't know the name of it. I'm sorry. I haven't listened to it yet. That's my disclaimer. Last week during like reaction stuff on stream, I listened to a song, Two-Faced, I think it was called. The first time I've actually heard like a whole new Linkin Park song. I'll start with them. I don't know how to feel about it. I do plan on trying to give the album a listen to because I'm sure Christian obviously liked. I'm gonna assume Christian liked Hybrid Theory, and Meteor, and stuff like that back in the day.
I loved Hybrid Theory. You guys have already seen my
There's
vinyl for
I
it.
don't know many people that did not like Hybrid Theory. To be fair,
Speaking of which,
Hybrid Theory.
I actually got this in the mail today. I got this in the mail today.
Meteor is another one. I really like Meteor. So
I got Meteora on vinyl.
and
all I need now is Reanimation, and then I will be my
Reanimation was
trifecta.
good.
Yeah, and
Like
then
all
I'll
that
have
early
all the
Linkin Park
albums
stuff
on.
was so good. Anyways, yeah, it almost, and this is probably a bad like analogy kind of thing, but it almost feels like I'm cheating on Chester listening to the new stuff. You know, like he is such a staple of why Linkin Park sounded the way they did with his vocals, right? The way he screamed, the way he sang, his lyrics, and it is no shade at the new vocalist. I mean, Mike's still there, and the others and stuff, but the new singer, it's different. I like that. I think she's doing her own thing. I hope. I've only listened to one song, so I don't really know if she's trying to just be like Chesterish or if she's doing her own thing. I hope she is. It seems like she is. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. It's kind of a weird thing, I guess the change factor. And I know they were kind of positioned with, hey, we're done now that Chester's gone, or we move on. And
Mm.
it is what it is. I'll check it out. It's just I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's weird, Like it's just weird. Like you know that voice, and I don't know what to expect. Like, yeah. What are your thoughts on Linkin Park and the new album? Have you listened to any of it?
I haven't listened to the album yet. And I'm gonna be honest, like I plan to give it a shot. I'm just not like overly excited about it, and it's not for the same reasons necessarily that you have. It's more so just I listened to the single that they released, and it was okay. Like it was just okay. It was better than the last album they put out.
I
Like
mean, I don't
that
even
one
know what
song
their
was better.
last. I don't know. I stopped.
I
I
don't
stopped
remember what it was
listening to
called
them
either.
heavily every album
Mhm.
after a while. They were kind of like I don't want to say a gateway band, but that was like. I mean, Hybrid Theory come out what 2001, 2000.
I'm pretty sure 2000.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a band like I said. I don't know many people that did not like Hybrid Theory, but I had a string of albums I really liked with them, and then it started to change and fall off for me, and I was moving to other stuff. But I still
Mm.
like Linkin Park, just more so for me the older Linkin Park.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm the same way. The hybrid theory is so when I listen to music now, and I'm listening to an album from a band or from an artist, whatever. I try to figure out is this their hybrid theory, right? Because hybrid theory is, in my opinion, a perfect album. It's one of those albums that you can listen to every song, that you can listen to every song as a collective, like as it shows up on the track list, or you can hit shuffle and then listen to every song that way randomly how it pops up. Like whichever way you decide, that's perfect album to me. And I listen to much heavier stuff now just because of how I've evolved with my music taste as a human being, since the year 2000. But I still go back to Hybrid Theory and listen to it in its entirety all the time. You know what I'm saying? More than once a year, all the time. It's just a part of my life. But with that said, when I listen to other albums and I try to figure out is this their hybrid theory, if I can't listen to more than half of a song without skipping it, I know it's not a hybrid theory, right? It's just how it goes. There are very few albums that I can listen to all the way through. There are some albums I can listen to that like I only skip one or two songs and I listen to everything else. And then there's some albums from people that I loved that I try not to listen to anymore because you find out that those musicians or a musician is a piece of crap and you don't really want to support them anymore. Like,
Which is where this segment is going.
yeah,
Yay!
exactly.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about
And
this. I'm
and
so
and like
excited.
before we even get to the part that you want to talk about, I'll say this: there's a band that nobody listens to anymore for good reason, obviously. And I won't get into why because it'll take another hour and a half that we just don't have. But there is a band or there was a band called Lost Prophets. Lost Prophets had a album called Start Something, and that was a hybrid theory album. Just about. I think I listened to everything but one. Listened to it all the way through. I thought it was awesome. I still remember the lyrics to like most of that album right now. Then it comes out that the lead vocalist for Lost Prophets is like a fucking monster, like one of the worst human beings in quotations to walk the face of the earth. So I try not to support that. And that album has been taken off of like every music thing. So the only way you can listen to it now is if you have the old CD from, back when we used to buy CDs, or if you like find it on YouTube. Those are the only places to listen to it. Full disclosure, at the time of this recording, I listened to that entire album today while I was drawing because it's been years and I just happened to think about it. So I listened to it. So that's why I segued that into it. But when it comes to the just going back to Linkin Park, I didn't listen to the whole album because I wasn't super excited about it. Like I said, I listened to that single when they dropped it. I just thought it was okay. I felt like the lead singer, I don't remember her name right now. I felt like she was doing her best version of Chester on these new songs instead of just being her own thing. Now, with that said, in her defense, that could be what she sounds like. That could be her thing. She could have been, for all I know, influenced by Chester before she was even a musician, and that is her thing. That could be the case. Me listening to it as a Linkin Park fan, old school Linkin Park fan, that's what it sounds like to me. Just like how so many people that want to voice the Joker are just they're doing their best Mark Hamill impersonation, right? Impressions. That's what they're doing. And we still like it because it sounds like something that we're used to. That doesn't mean that it's new and exciting. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily that good. It just means how close are they getting to what I want. But I will say this as well. With those people doing the voices of the Joker that sound like Hamill, there are a dime a dozen. There's a bunch of people doing it. Some people do, people don't. There's nobody else. There is nobody else on the face of the planet that I am aware of currently that can do a Batman voice that comes anywhere near Kevin Conroy. So like he obviously he's a legend, right? He's gonna go down in history as being Batman. When you read Batman, when you hear Batman, that's the voice that you have in your head. Anybody that's our age, maybe that's around our generation,
turn this into a
that's what
Batman
you
conversation?
Hear. Because that's what I mean. Like when you listen to people that sound like they're impersonating someone else, there's only one person that did it that way for him. There's a bunch of people that impersonate Mark Hamill's version of the Joker. Now, going back to Linkin Park, when I listened to that song, I felt like she was just being Chester the best way that she could, and
What
that
song
wasn't
did you
really
listen
my
to?
jam.
Because like I said, I've only heard I think it's
The
called Two
Something
Face.
Machine. It's
Oh,
called Something
yeah,
Machine. I don't remember. I don't remember, and that's the thing. I didn't remember in T-2 days, right? I forgot about it. Um, like I said, it's not a bad song. It's not trash or anything. It's fine, but that's it. It's just fine. I didn't care enough to try to remember. I didn't care enough to go back and listen to it. I didn't care enough to go listen to the album that dropped. I even got a message on Spotify to let me know the album dropped. And I just didn't give a shit. I will eventually. When I'm cleaning my house and I'm bored, I'll pop it on, see what's going on. But right now, there's other stuff that I'd much rather be listening to. There's other stuff that I'd rather be doing. So I'm just not really in the mood for it right now. But I am, however, in the mood to pop this bad boy back on and listen to a real masterpiece, if that says anything. But you go on to what you were gonna say.
So the other album dropped, and I think I've listened to all of it at this point, and I have some thoughts. First off, the members that were on this record, Ken Sushi, however the hell you say his name, Unearth's guitar player, former guitar player. It was him and Phil doing guitars. Ryan Neff, who is the bass player for Miss May I, he was doing bass and clean vocals on this record. And then Nick Pierce, I think, was the drummer, who was also an Unearthed drummer that was there. I have to say, I really like Ken. Ken's wild. To me, this album, there was a spotlight on Ryan Neff. I feel like Ryan was the shining spot of this album. Anytime the cleans hit, they were powerful. He has a really good voice, catchy like melodies and like hooks and stuff like that. So props to him. And that is my takeaway from this album. Is honestly like, As Lay Dying has always had that metalcore sound. Well, I mean, they are metalcore. They're the OGs of metalcore, but they have that, the singing. They have the clean singing parts that are usually pretty good and catchy. And he shines in it. His voice really shines through it. Tim is whatever. Honestly, Tim is not doing anything that's going to make you be like, okay, wow, yeah, he's evolved as vocalist. It's the same shit he's done, pretty much every album. The same cut and paste shit. And it's fine. You can stay in comfort and do your thing. Now, there's the other side of that. This album, had built up a little bit of hype. As Lay Dying was coming back, they had all the members. Pretty much everybody but Phil and Tim quit. They got the members that is named. You know, they come in and then they release a song and it's like, okay, song's not bad. Cool, sweet, whatever. Here we go. And they start touring. I think they were touring a lot, and they write this album. And the songs have been okay. And like I said, Ryan was definitely a big, to me, like, I was like, damn, he's sounding good. Like, he, is really making an impact on this record. And then everybody quit. Literally. Every fucking member quit. Did you not know this?
No, I didn't know that everybody quit.
Okay, so you already know Jordan and like Nick and all them quit, like the old ones. They left, and you got these new replacement members, which I don't even know if they were officially named as Lay Dying or if they were just like not studio musicians, but like the fill-in.
Yeah.
But they're on the record, they're writing the record, whatever. So it started with Ryan, literally the person to me that's like standing out the most in the record. He said something about like moral values and stuff like that, and didn't want to be compromised, whatever. Pretty much he like peaced out. I'm done. I'm out of As Lay Dying. He dips, goes back, just full Miss Mao. After that, Ken leaves. Same thing. Ken, who is known to like, Ken will throw down like any Unearthed video stuff. Dudes drinking beers, having fun, good time. Honestly, reminds me of like a TJ back in the day. Like just the fun-loving, crazy, the goofy. Yeah. And Ken was like, moral things, I don't want to put them in jeopardy, stuff like that. I'm out. Peace out. And then Nick leaves. So it leaves the only two people that are actual, I guess, probably As Lay Dying members, and Tim and Phil. And Phil was really slow to do it, but finally Phil's like, announcement coming soon, which kind of lets you know, like, he's about to leave too. And he was like, we don't see eye to eye anymore. Like, it's not good for mental health, for anything to be in this band. I'm out. I'm done. So he pretty much had to probably settle some kind of business aspect of like his stake of As Lay Dying. He's out. He's gone. So it leaves Tim, who then said that he wasn't the band, that he would just, piece it back together and they would keep going. But it clearly states that Tim is the problem. And if those that don't know, for whatever reason you are not familiar with As Lay Dying's history, As Lay Dying was one of the biggest metalcore bands, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely an OG, but they were one of the big metalcore bands. Tim was a very outspoken Christian, right? They were like a Christian band in the day. He was very outspoken about his beliefs. Well, Tim also went on supposedly roid rage, and he hired a hitman to kill his wife.
That's
and
right.
went to jail, which then caused the band to go on hiatus. I think all the members started a band called Woven War while he was in jail. Obviously, didn't have the success of As Lay Dying. He gets out of jail, and he eventually like convinces them to all get back together. And then, but one by one, they all pretty much are like, "Fuck this, we're out." Like same shit, different day. Props to what they're doing now. Josh, the bass player, he's actually in Spirit Box now, which is, I think, a much better move for him. I mean, hot band that's doing good things. Bigger and bigger. Great move. But yeah. So everybody leaves right before the record's released, and they had I think they were about to leave for a European tour. And when I say everybody leaves, Christian, I mean the members, the tour manager, and more. Like behind the scenes people all quit As Lay Dying.
Good Lord.
And Tim was pretty much like, hey, I'm going to do a better job of having like a safer, work area environment that's better for people and blah, blah, blah. I mean, and as soon as the first member quit, everybody was already like, it's Tim. Like, what is the common denominator of everybody quitting this band? It has to be the same factor. And then everyone but Tim quit. So it tells you this motherfucker's the problem. Like, clearly. I don't know. What are your thoughts on As Lay Dying? The album is, I mean, again, Ryan Neff singing is the what stands out to me. The rest of it is normal. Man, he has features on one song that's what is his name? Wow, I went blank. Alex Terrible and one more person. And it's like I was like, damn, that should be a heavy part. And I feel like they're misused in it. It's not heavy enough for them. I was like, that's, tell me you couldn't get nasty on like one breakdown and just let them go ham.
Couldn't get nasty.
Just get angry. Just be pissed off.
Mhm.
Somebody just stole your snack pack in prison. Like, come on, rebuild those. Like, damn. Okay.
Oh, I
What
feel
are your
that. I
thoughts on
feel
the
that.
Aslay dying stuff? I didn't know you didn't know about all the. Dude, it's a
Yeah, I
shit
mean,
show.
I knew about the first big infraction with Tim and him going to prison and all that.
Oh, by the way, one last thing that just come out. Rockville announced their lineup. Aslay Dying's on it, so they already have a festival spot for 2025 with one person in the band. So
We'll
it would
see
be
if they stay
hilarious if
on
he
that
comes out
tour.
with backing tracks only and just him. Like literally, a laptop
Oh my
presses
God.
play and it plays the song, and he's just out there screaming by himself. I hope that happens. That would be the best thing ever.
Oh my God,
And
that'd
I
be
would
funny.
love to see the crowd's reaction.
I think so. My thoughts. Their first like two albums, I listened to a bunch when I was young. You said they were like that band for a little while. They were that band. They weren't my favorite type of metal. I love metalcore. To this day I love metalcore. But they just their particular flavor of metalcore wasn't necessarily my jam, but I did like them and I did listen to them. I'm not gonna lie, I've listened to them a lot more than I even remember. Because now that I'm thinking about it, like their first two albums were in my rotation a lot. Like a lot. So yeah, I did listen to him a whole lot. Tim went to prison. I remember that. I remember being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe this happened. Like this is insane. He's a terrible person." I remember thinking all that stuff. And then after they got back together, I listened to like two songs, and that's it. And I remember the reason why I listened to those two songs. One, I listened to because it was on Pandora, and I didn't have any skips, so I listened to it. And the second one actually popped up on my Spotify for music you might like, and it was one newer songs, and I was listening to it and was like, who even is this? Like, I don't really know if I like this. And then saw who it was, and it was like, I'll let it finish. Maybe it'll get better. So that they're not my jam. I think that Tim very clearly is a bad person.
Yeah.
And a lot of bad people typically hide behind something that's supposed to be really good and positive, religion being one of those things. And
Which I don't know that he's. I don't think he's like that anymore. I think after the whole
I
jail thing,
mean,
I think I kind of like
yeah,
fucked that up a little bit for him.
I highly doubt that he's still that way because of those, due to those reasons as well. I remember looking into why he had somebody try to, you know, unalive his wife, and I think they were like going through something like a divorce or whatever. I do remember that. I remember reading about that. I read about that before like there was a TikTok and a Vine and all that. You had to like get on Google and like really research the stuff, and then get on the sites that covered that type of music that would give you more and more information. I do remember doing a lot of research, looking into that. Me and my buddy definitely looked into that a lot because, like I said, we listened to them a bunch. But yeah, man, just in general, I don't really care about As I Lay Dying. They're not my flavor of music anymore, especially. That's not what I'm listening to. I will listen to Linkin Park, their new stuff, before I listen to As I Lay Dying's new stuff. And Tim can't hold a band down. He can't keep people satisfied long enough to even finish a studio record. Like, dog, what are you doing?
Oh, the record got
It
finished. It's just like literally they were leaving like a week and a half or something. Like they were going on a European tour, and everybody was like, "Nah, we're out. Fuck this shit."
So like you were saying it earlier, but they probably had to finish the album due to contracts. So as soon as they finished that album, their contract was finished, they were out. And I don't blame them, man. Like if you're going in and you have a really shitty work experience with stuff like that, get out of there.
Yeah.
So I get it.
And like you said, the first I'm trying to think of the names. Shadows Are Security or whatever. I think maybe. And then Oceans Apart or something. I can't remember the name. Something along those lines. Those two albums were bangers. After that, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really listen to a lot of As I Lay Dying. I mean, I appreciated
Yeah.
them for like being the OGs and what they did, and they still were big draws everywhere and touring their ass off. But those two albums were like really, really good albums. After that, I kind of fell off. This was just kind of like at this point, like especially because I already knew about the shit show and everything going on, and I've been kind of keeping up with that a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna listen to it just to see if this album's any good. And then, just kind of driving around doing errands, I was listening to it, and like I said, the clean vocals were the best part of the record. Like, literally, like...
I mean, that doesn't bode well, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I mean, I'm just like, props to this guy. Like, no shade at, like, the other musicians. Tim didn't do anything for me as a vocalist. I was like, like, nothing to, like, tickle me, but like, ooh, that's a nasty part. Like, maybe in 2010 or 2005 or 6, maybe I'm like, ooh. But now I'm just like, But I don't know. That's a shit show, though, so it'll be interesting to see how 2025 goes for them and who he gets, because I'm sure money talks, and he'll convince some musician somewhere to play with him until they realize that he is not a great person. From what we see from the outside. I mean, I've never met Tim or spoke with Tim, but based on the revolving door of members and things said, it would appear, and the fact that he went to jail for trying to unalive his wife, it would appear that all facts kind of point to him not being a great human being. So, we'll leave it at that. I mean, that's speculation, but you take that as you will, I guess. Since neither of us know him.
Exactly.
All right. But that's all I had. That didn't rile Christian up enough, sadly. Linkin Park did. All right. It's time now. Let's go ahead and roll this long thing. Get your Raisinets, get your Sour Patch Kids, get your popcorn, because it's time for this week's cinema. Not gonna lie, movie snacks right now does sound good.
I agree.
And it's finally done. All right, man, that thing is long as hell. I need to do something about that. All right, so this week we have, hopefully Christian watched the right movie. I really hope so. You can make a whole gallon of popcorn during this intro from the Kick Chat. Thank you so much, Elf. Thank you for adding that. I know, it lasts a long time. You leave me alone. We watched Woman of the Hour. It come out in 2023. First and foremost, Christian, please tell me you watched the right movie.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, sweet. Okay, I'm just making sure, because you never know a Christian. I mean, he may text you the day of the episode and have watched something completely wrong.
I mean, that's happened once in the past, and it could happen again.
Anyways, Woman of the Hour come out in 2023. It stars Anna Kendrick and Daniel Zavato. It is Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. All right, so quick thing. In the 1970s Los Angeles, a wave of murders make headlines. A young woman aspiring to become an actress and a serial killer cross paths during an episode of a dating show. That's pretty much the premise of the movie. I will say, well, and I didn't know this was based on a true story. Apparently, I did not listen to my wife at all going into this, that from what she had seen. Because I didn't know it was based on a true story until the end. And I was like, oh, shit, this is real?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so good on me.
That's funny.
It's based on a true story of Rodney Alcala. Is that how you say it? Alcala?
I don't remember his last name, if I'm being honest.
Okay, one of the reasons I didn't think it was based on a true story, I don't know of any other serial killers with super long hair. Usually they're more kept, if that makes sense. They're more, I guess, OCD, and they don't have, like, they're clean cut, they're, you know?
Yeah, in real life, that guy's hair wasn't that long.
He was like...
I'm pretty sure his hair wasn't that long.
Like, Native American long hair. Like, hippie-ish. It was, like, really long, and I was like, I feel like that's not a normal... I don't know. Anyways, one thing I took away from this movie, man, the 70s are a wild-ass time.
Yep.
First and foremost, there's a scene. I'm just going to kind of skip around because I don't really have notes on it. Like, I had those basic things. But there's a scene where this lady, like, gets her stuff dropped off at her apartment. And the movers are like, all right, you were in the shower or whatever. It took too long. You got to get in yourself. She just invites this stranger to come up to her house and to start carrying shit in. Nowadays, that stuff ain't flying. You're not, like, going to go outside. Christian, you going to go outside your house and be like, hey, can you come help me bring something in my house to some random person? Hell no.
Hell
the
no.
70s? That stuff's cool. You're like, oh, yeah, you're cool. Come here. You can have a beer. We'll sit here and talk for a minute. Shoot the shit in my house. No. Like,
Not at all.
the 70s are wild. Or just get in my car. Let's go for a ride. Let me go show you this place. Like, the logic back then, and obviously technology and law enforcement stuff, and like, that's a whole different topic. But that's why serial killers were rampant in the 70s.
Absolutely.
But yeah, movie was cool. I enjoyed it. It was, again, I wish I'd have known going in it was a true story. Because now thinking about it, I'm like, damn, okay. I was trying to piece together all the timeline stuff because they do jump around quite a bit with different ladies showing you, I guess, his kills. And then they speculate. How many do they say he killed? Was it 7 or 8?
He has 8. He has 8 confirmed.
8 confirmed, but then they said it could be up to 130. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the hell? I was like, how do you go from 8 confirmed, but then you're like, it could be 130? Like, where? How do you just add 122 more to that? Like, where are you just pulling people from every missing person?
I saw that and I was like,
that's a big jump.
Yeah, I think they just counted a bunch of missing people, like missing women around his active years. Like, I just don't see where he would have the time to take out that many people without being caught. That's crazy.
So he's a photographer, and I guess it looks like he works at a paper. He did work at maybe the New York Times or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe freelance photography or something. He's like Peter Parker in it. I don't know.
So that's a strange analogy, but you're correct.
I mean, what did Peter Parker do? Freelance photography. And this guy's over here.
I mean, I'm saying not strange because it's untrue, strange because it's so close. Too close. You know what I mean?
Christian's like, I don't like this. Peter's hair's not long and he doesn't unalive people.
Leave Peter out of this.
Don't you dare talk about Peter. No, but the movie was cool. I think she does a pretty good job. Her character is a smartass, and I actually found it pretty humorous how she was treating these absolute douche nozzles of people, like the guys that were on the dating show. I cannot think of what that dating show used to be called. Do you remember? It wasn't called. It was called like dating game or something on the movie, but there was a name, wasn't there? Like,
there was. What was the name of that thing?
I kind of want to see the episode now. Now I'm intrigued about watch that real episode.
I gotta go back and check it.
Anyway, so the first guest, because there's 3, essentially, like, she's on a dating show and she like can't see the bachelors, and she asks them questions and then she'll pick one at the end and they'll go on a date, whatever. So the first one is just like clueless. He's just oblivious to everything. Every question she asks him, he's just like, huh? And it's pretty funny because you find out he's a doctor. Of all things, I'm like, wow, that's great. That's real reassuring. The next dude is just like a pig, essentially. Looks like a just scumball, jerky dude.
I love that you called him a scumball. That's my favorite part.
I mean, is he not? Like, all of his answers are like, I'm just trying to get laid, essentially. Like,
I think you were gonna say scumbag, but you said scumball. But scumball is even better. I love it.
No, he's scumball. I called him what he is because that's what he is. No, he's just, even down to his massive sideburns, he's just sleazy person. And then you had our serial killers, the third one, who obviously is going to give the best answers.
I think the show actually was called The Dating Game.
Because
it was on ABC, yeah. Yeah, it was called The Dating Game.
Well, all right then. But no, I mean, it was a solid movie. Yeah, I don't think she did bad for her directorial debut. Christian, what did you think about it?
I don't have a whole lot of notes either. I kind of mirror what you said. I think that when you watching the movie, you can see that the character Rodney, like, he ain't shit, bro. He ain't shit. He's a terrible human being.
So, okay, I have more. I don't know how you felt. Like, most times serial killers don't feel remorse, right? Like, they do the deed, do what they got to do, and they feel alive. Well, not the last one. I guess it was one of. Well, no, he got caught in like 71 or whatever it was when he got caught the first time or something. He's crying over there. Like, bro, what? Here you are with long hair, crying. Like, you are just you're not good at this. Like, what is happening with you right now?
You're not good at it.
Oh, this is what happens when we watch too much like Dexter and shit, and then we're over here and we're like, this dude's fucking up.
That's hilarious.
At one point, when he
That's
choking
hilarious.
somebody with his hand, and like he just all kinds of things. I'm like, man, all I'm seeing is like DNA evidence here, which back then I guess there wasn't DNA evidence, but you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like just stuff everywhere, and I'm like, this dude is just what is happening? But I don't know. It's I guess that's why it threw me off when it said it's a real story. After seeing all this, I was like, wow, okay.
You're absolutely right. I think that like going back to it, solid performances. Her directorial debut, this is fantastic. I think she's definitely going to direct again, and this movie looked really good. Like great shots in this film. There's a scene where he's following her, like Anna Kendrick's character. He's following her outside of the studio, and you see his silhouette behind her, just literally stalking her. Great shot. There's a lot of shots like that
Very
where you get to
suspenseful
see.
shot.
Yeah. And there's a lot of scenes where you get to see how much bigger than her he is. So that's really cool to see. I think they do a really good job at showing you depth, weight, suspense, like you said earlier. And they also do this thing in the film where they kind of like they just give you a moment. They back up, they back the camera up and show you like everything that's going on, so you feel as helpless as some of these women do. I really like how I like the shots that she chose a lot. It's a lot of dread going on in this movie, which is also really cool. I'm just here for it. I'm just here for it. It's really cool. The real person, like the real serial killer that they feature in this movie, I do know that he died in 2021, and I know that he does have the 8 confirmed kills that we talked about already. Just so that we're on the same in the same space. I know the movie jumps timelines quite a bit, quite frequently, but it's really easy to like understand what's going on. Like I said, well directed, great shots. It's super tense. Good performances. Rodney sucks. Like I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Thought it was great. We'll see more of Anna Kendrick doing stuff like this for sure.
I think she did good. I like the game show felt like a 70s game show, like the way it was shot and like the design and everything. Like it, you have that vibe, kind of like a Late Night with the Devil. How I praise like the coloring and like the design of it all. I dig that. I think they did a good job with it. There's not a lot of blood, which if you've ever followed me, Christian you don't need to have it. I mean, you can have it in parts. It's cool sometimes, but it's not always needed to really like have a suspenseful movie and like get where you need to go. And that was, I think it was good. I would give it a 7. I think 7's a good one for it, right around 7.
Yeah, I think 7's good.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I would watch it again. It's on Netflix currently.
Yeah, I would.
If you haven't watched it, check it out. She does a good job. I mean, she's a good actress though.
Yeah, she's a veteran at this point. She's been doing it a while.
I will give Daniel Zavato or whatever his name is credit. I like when he flips the switch. He goes from like the smiley charming to like you can tell like his whole body just shifts to like this dude, there's something dark in him. Like there's something not right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good. But yeah, solid movie. It was a fun one this week to watch. Me and the missus both enjoyed it. And definitely check it out if you haven't already. You have any other notes for that one, Christian?
No, not for that one. I think I didn't want to talk about it too long just because it was pretty to the point, and it wasn't overly long either.
Hour and 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it did what it needed to do. All right, so while we're on the subject of cinema, let's go ahead. Me and Christian have been talking about it, and probably within the next week or two, we will start getting into more festive movies. Now, before you start coming at us with like Elf and whatever else, us festive is a little different. So we've already added a couple. We talked about it with Kick Chat before we started recording. But we've added Krampus, Christmas Horror Story, Jack Frost, Christmas Bloody Christmas, Violent Night, Fat Man, Black Christmas, and Werewolf Santa to our list of potential movies to watch for cinema for the upcoming weeks as we go into Christian smiling. I don't like this. As we go into the holiday season, I did add another one just a little bit ago, Smile 2. I think it's coming out to streaming soon, and that's definitely one we should tackle.
Yeah.
And Jordan in chat says half of those sound made up. No, they are not.
Dude, Werewolf Santa is a movie. I just saw that it exists on Tubi before we started recording, and I am overly excited to watch it. It looks like the movie was filmed on an iPhone, and I'm here for it.
Oh my god! So I'm sure we'll
It's gonna be Boo Boo Shoes for sure.
The meme one is another one I didn't add list, but we could. It's the Grinch horror movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen all of that, so that might be fun. It's probably not going to be fun. We'll try it.
I mean, I'll put that on the list. I don't know where it's at, but I'll put it on the list. But for this coming week, what do we want to tackle?
Ooh.
I know what he's gonna say, and I'm trying to rail him for as long as I can, because for some reason I just feel like a January movie that's a January movie. Like when we here in Tennessee have more chances of snow, that just feels right. I'm trying to rail him as long as I can on it, because he wants it, and we can't give Christian what he wants all the time.
I guess that's a rule that we.
I guess that's what we can do. I don't really know. I don't really have a good. Is there anything new that came out that we should?
Not yet. I think there's stuff coming out, but I don't think there's anything that has already hit us that's like,
I mean, I know what we could do, and this is an awful suggestion.
Oh,
it just popped into my head. And Elf actually is ahead of me. That's literally what I was about to say, Elf. Elf said, "Have y'all both seen Thanksgiving?" That's actually no. That's not what I was gonna say. I'll retract my statement. I'm sorry. It's very close. You're talking about the Eli Roth Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, I actually finally saw that not too long ago, but I don't remember the ending of it, so I would be down to it.
Okay, that can be an option. Since this episode will be coming out the day before Thanksgiving next week, we could do one. I don't know. We can figure it out. But my suggestion was going to be Thanksgiving. Yes. And for those who don't know, yes, that's a homicidal turkey, baby. Just getting everybody.
I would watch it. I would watch that.
Let me find where it's at. And Jordan says, "Oh God, don't say oh God." Look, I've watched this movie once in my life, and I could not stop watching this movie.
I've only
not
seen
because
it
it's a
once,
good movie. Let me clarify, but because I just couldn't look away. Oh God, it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. It's on Pluto. Oh Lord, have mercy. I mean, is that where it is? Are we just gonna lock that one in? Do we want to try to do that and Thanksgiving, or should we try to do Thanksgiving next week? Since you,
let's do Thanksgiving afterwards, because I already know that's a much better movie than Thanksgiving.
I don't feel like it was that great. Thanksgiving. I think it was okay.
I remember liking Thanksgiving. I remember the beginning of the movie, fantastic. That's the only part of the movie that I remember.
There's an Amityville Thanksgiving. Wait, what?
What?
How? Okay, I gotta Google that. How is that a thing? Where it's like, hey, let's all go to the Amityville horror or the Amityville house. I didn't even get it all the way typed in. What is Amityville Karen? What the hell is that?
We're just making shit up at this point.
Okay, no, he's right. Amityville Thanksgiving came out in 2022. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Jackie and Danny's marriage is taking a turn for the worse. They turn to what they believe to be their only option. Amityville couples counselor Frank Domenico, a doctor with a hidden sinister past who recommends an isolated cabin retreat. Oh my God. Oh.
There's no way that's going to be good, right?
I mean, no. I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to turkey it up with the killer turkey, or do you want to watch?
I'm still down for turkey, to be honest. But my eyes are open to other things for sure.
How long is the turkey? Could we double? I don't know. Do you think we could double?
I could do my best to double, like
Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving. Just double it up. Sure. Give you a Thanksgiving special the day before.
Well, yeah, we could do that. We could just make that the episode. Want to just talking about these crazy Thanksgiving movies. But yeah, man, I'm willing to give that a shot. As long I'm sure I can carve out some time.
Oh my God, I'm putting this down as Thanksgiving. Oh God, Thanksgiving. Wait, when did what come out?
I
When
know
did
that Thanksgiving came out 2022. I don't
Thanksgiving did?
remember when. No, Thanksgiving came out last year, didn't it?
2023.
Yeah, I think
Thanksgiving. That's got to be older.
yeah, that's an
Thanksgiving
80s film.
2008. Thanksgiving sequel. Wow, it got a sequel. Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. I just the lines alone, I only remember very little from that movie. And Christian, have you ever seen it?
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, once. I seen it one time.
Oh my God.
I
I just
the only thing I remember, is that the turkey talks.
yes, the turkey talks. Okay, there's two
That's all I
things that
remember.
stand out for me in that movie, and I don't remember anything else. And it's the turkey is having sexual relations
I'm
or
sorry,
about
what?
to, and his condom's full of gravy, and he tells the girl who's stuffing who now. That's one thing, and I was like, oh my God. The other thing
Oh no.
is somehow he gets some dad's face and he puts the face on his turkey body. And this chick
How does
walks
he
in and is
how?
like, Dad, and is talking to this obvious turkey. And I'm like, what? What am I watching? So this is what we're watching this week.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, uh,
Oh man. That's yeah, I can't wait to see this. I can't wait.
there's
What's
a
it
movie
on
I want to
again?
watch. Did you ever watch Low?
No.
Oh man, I don't remember. This was one of them back in the days where you would just late as hell at night browse Netflix, and then you would end up falling on something and you would watch it because you're like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and then you're like, oh damn, this was one of them, and I kind of want to rewatch it like years later.
Man, that's Jesus Christ. I'm
Christian's
still
really
stuck
excited for
on
this movie now.
I'm st- I, I,
Like
I
that's the
can't
only things I
believe that.
remember from the movie, but I just, man, I'm pretty sure I watched this.
I'm s-
Alcohol was involved. It had to be.
Oh man, I have that's the only way I'm gonna be able to watch
You're gonna love it if you drink. You're probably just gonna be laughing your ass off.
it. Then drinking it is.
Yeah. Wow.
God, that's funny.
The
Well, all right,
tagline
we
is
got it locked
"Get
in.
stuffed, mother clucker." Oh, this is gonna be so fun.
Yeah,
We're gonna
maybe
fix
we should
drinks
just
and we're gonna
focus on
watch
that one.
Thanksgiving, boys. Get ready for next
Yeah,
week's episode because it's gonna be full of punchlines and one-liner zings and all kinds of fun stuff.
that is some of the craziest shit I've ever heard
No, it's gonna be
in my
wonderful.
life. Jesus. All right, well, we got it locked in, and we better get up out of here. We're
Maybe
well out of
the
time.
community will even watch it. Maybe I can convince them. They like to do movie nights in Discord, so maybe I'll get them to. They'll watch one of these together.
That'd be cool.
All right. Well, we've locked it in. Next week we're gonna try for 2. If not, I guess Thanksgiving's the first one we'll watch, and we'll try to knock out Thanksgiving. Nice. And then, so if you guys have suggestions for cinema, like I said, we're adding some stuff. I'll name some of the ones we're adding for the holiday season. If you have some good holiday movies for us, let us know, and we'll add them to the list. And we'll kind of go through them. Obviously, it looks like Werewolf Santa is going to be one that we're probably going to have to watch because Christian's really excited.
That is true.
But keep adding movies for cinema. We'll keep grabbing some newer movies as they come out as we can watch them, as well as some others. And we'll keep the segment going if you guys are enjoying it. So keep giving us stuff to watch and get our reviews and reactions on. And then we'll also start, if you want to start dropping us some throwback show suggestions. We don't know what that segment will be, but as the dry period falls upon us with shows and stuff, we'll tackle some of these older shows that me and Christian may not have watched, or maybe we watched and forgot, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can even do some anime for that. Maybe I can get Christian to watch some.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Old anime, and you hear my reaction to it, and then Christian laughs and tell me, yeah, Just kind of like he did with Demon Slayer, how he enjoyed my misery.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But with that being said, and it's time, boys and girls, that we
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
Whiskey.
As we go on to last call, and since I see Jordan in the kick chat, I'm assuming that he's going to come at us with some kind of nonsense. So it is time for the last call question, and let's see what we got this week. Boardwalk Empire is a good suggestion. Okay. You're offered $10 million to defeat a current WWE star in a match. You have 30 days to prepare and train. If you fail to win, you have to serve 1 year in prison. Who are you going up against, and what's your strategy? And yes, because I know you'll ask, you can choose a woman to fight, but I'll judge you if you choose Alexa Bliss because you can body slam her like 6 times in a row. Man, Alexa Bliss is a goddess. We will not speak dirty of her. How dare you? First off. Second off, I'm not picking. Oh, shit. This is going to be tough. Oh.
Listen, I want you guys to hear me when I say this, because you guys are going to think it's a joke, but it's not. My choice is Rhea Ripley, and I will gladly serve that year in prison.
He just said, I'm going to prison, but I want her to manhandle me. Oh, my God. Christian just wants to see on the dump truck.
Dude, mommy's always on top, okay? And I'll go to prison for the year. 365 days?
Look, you're not going to make it to prison because you're going to take the fall in that match, and your wife's going to beat the hell out of you. You're getting buried, friend. She's gonna be like, I see what you did there. Come here.
Look, that wasn't a part of the question, sir.
Okay. I'm not just going to take a dive like Christian. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find.
I mean, I'll try. I'm going to try. I'm not going to win, but I'm going to try.
I mean, Vito, this is not a match you should enjoy. Christian.
Come on, man.
30 days of train is not going to do shit.
My answer got vetoed. That's crazy.
30 days isn't going to do shit. What are you doing? Looking up the roster?
Yeah.
You cheating.
Trying to see who I want to fight. I'm not cheating. Trying to see who I want to fight.
You're going to prison, not horny jail. WWE roster. Man.
Unless you want to take away my happiness. I gotta come up with
Wait, does it have to be W? Oh, it is WWE. Okay.
Yeah. That's a good question. You're gonna veto that answer too, so might as well not even waste
Christian,
my time.
Get out of the gutter. Try to win some money.
Now.
Quit trying to whatever.
Don't worry about what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing. Christian's on the lady wrestlers right now. Just trying to figure out who can beat him up. I love how Jordan threw in like Alexa Bliss. Like, I know you guys are about to go down the wrong road.
I want y'all just to let me live my life. My goodness.
Man, I'm struggling with this. I'm trying to think.
It is kind of difficult.
I mean, 30 days, I'm supposed to... I don't think that's going to help. Because these dudes got, like, crazy cardio.
Seriously.
And I've got, like, wrestling friends, and yeah, they're big people. They're strong as hell people. With a lot of them with, like, crazy backgrounds.
Are you guys sure I can't just wrestle Bailey?
No!
Vetoed as well?
Will you stop?
God. All right, fine. Fine.
Man, who is... Hold on. I got to look up the roster now because I'm...
Yeah,
everybody I'm thinking of is like is not happening.
The first thing I was going to say was Carlito, but I feel like Carlito would break my legs. Then I was like, ooh, Chad Gable. But Chad Gable is like weirdly
he's an Olympic.
swole.
That dude was in the Olympics. Yeah. He's going to whoop that ass.
Exactly. That's why I was like, never mind. Let me think about it.
Ooh. Um. Man, hold up. This is. I'm trying to find somebody with like bad knees or something that I can like just try to kick them one time and. Man, I want to pick low hanging fruit, but I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, I'm gonna wrestle somebody. I'm gonna wrestle somebody. I mean, right now I'm thinking like Dominic. I feel like Dominic's too. He's got way more cardio than I have.
He's about to wear you out.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd probably gas out.
This
pretty
shit's
quickly.
hard. I don't like any of my chances with any of these people. Not 30 days training.
And this is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down the list, and so far I'm not finding anything that's like, I'm like, ooh. Do I want to go to jail or do I want to?
You guys won't let me live my life, so I gotta.
I mean, you're not living your life because you're doing it wrong. You're doing the wrong way.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, does it matter if they're hurt right now or not? Can I pick somebody that's hurt and be like, look, they have to get in the ring right now?
Wow, you're gonna pick Big E.
Look, I did look at Big E and I was like, he actually can't really wrestle because, I mean, the neck. So does that mean I win by forfeit?
Is Nikki Cross still on the card? Like, I haven't seen her in a while.
She's with the whatever group. No, I was gonna pick. Isn't one of like Gallows or one of them hurt? Didn't they tear something?
I think so.
Give
me Birdo. I'm going all in the first 2 minutes. I mean,
Birdo.
I feel like Birdo would destroy you though. His name used to be Alberto something, but they changed it.
Oh.
I don't know, dude. I feel like he would outlast you.
Their cardio, like even the big boys, like the big boys, their cardio is pretty crazy. I feel like we're gonna blow up like so quick. Let's go with Christian. Who you got? Dude, this roster does not look fair. None of these fights look fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Christian. I'm gonna pick. Listen, here's gonna be mine, and my logic is not good.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to jail. Almost.
Let's hear it.
Whatever the hell his name is.
Almost? That's who you choosing?
My thought process is let his big ass get in there. He's not going to be as quick as some of them. So I'm going to try to kick him in the cankle or in the knee and just get him down, and I'm just going to keep kicking and hope for the best.
Luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, really, what do you want me to pick somebody like? I'm just going to scroll and pick a random person. Dude, I'm not even getting in the ring with Michael Cole. He's probably jacked.
Why don't you just take on Shinsuke?
Hell no. That dude's going to pull some MMA shit and knock my ass out.
You want to get kicked in the face?
I do not want to get kicked in the face. Why don't you take on Kevin Owens?
I feel like I'd have a better chance against Kevin Owens than I would like Randy Orton.
Oh, I'm not fucking Randy. Randy Orton's almost 300 pounds of his muscle. I'm not dealing with that. He's gotten bigger.
He did.
Scary. I don't like this question. I feel like we're going to jail.
This one is a tougher one. This is definitely a tougher question.
I feel like we're going to jail. Because even the ones that I'm like, man, they don't look that big, they're probably going to run me until I can't breathe, and then they're just going to like push me over.
Know what? Forget trying to play it safe. Give me Logan Paul. Let's go.
He's going to run you ragged, dude.
As long as I get to black his eye, I'm okay.
Bro, doesn't he have like actual steel plate in his hand? Didn't he break his hand doing something? So he's going to like tag you.
That's okay.
I can't believe your ass is trying to pick. Man, you cheating. You gotta be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not cheating. You guys didn't say that I couldn't do it until you did.
I mean, he said he was going to judge you, and what'd you do?
Okay, I'm judging. I'm judging my damn self.
And I'm sure you are. Hey, Pat McAfee's actually hella athletic. He surprises me how athletic he is. Man, that's rough though.
Honestly, it's a super hard question.
Like, are we saying in a straight up fist fight?
I think you said a wrestling match.
Oh, like we're wrestling? We're not winning. 30 days to train and these dudes? Oh. We're about to get in there and break everything in our body. And they're just going to be like flipping around. Making it look easy.
Too bad you can't pick like Big Show because like
that's who I was thinking
it.
of. I was just gonna try to kick him again. I'm just trying to kick people.
Absolutely.
Knee. Man, that's a rough one. That's tough. What about Mr. McMahon? There you go. Too bad he's not currently on the roster.
Yeah, he's not currently on the roster. Can't use him.
I would have probably picked that. I would have took my chance to be like, I'll scrap with the old man.
I understand why.
He probably would have still whooped that ass too, though. Sadly, I don't know though. He gets 30 days trained. He's what 70. I'll take those chances. Meanwhile, Christian's
might
over
tear
here
both of his
live some fantasy.
Might tear both his ACLs. Listen, I didn't say that. Listen, get out of my business.
Christian's just trying to live some fantasy so he can go to prison and I don't know what.
I'm trying to go to prison, a legend, bro.
Okay. Going to prison with some black eyes.
Yeah, seriously. But to answer honestly though, this was a really tough question because like every dude on the roster is either huge or just jacked in some way where like they would just wear me down. So if I'm gonna get beat up like that, I'm just gonna try my hand at fighting Logan Paul. And if not Logan Paul, then maybe you know what? I would fight the Miz. I would fight the Miz. That's my answer.
Miz is gonna wear you out.
I don't give a shit. I'll take the Miz. Man. You know who I wouldn't want to take on? Daniel Bryan, or I guess his name is Bryan Danielson now. But yeah, I would not want to.
There's a lot I wouldn't want to take on.
I mean, pretty much everybody that's not Rhea Ripley, or
I wish you would have been ballsy enough to be like Brock Lesnar, and I'd be like, you are a psychopath.
Nah, you know what? I saw Brock Lesnar's picture, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
No, that is look. I know I'm not a Brock Lesnar fan, but I am not getting in there with him because you know that dude will beat the brakes off of you. Gable, I can't believe you picked Gable. Gable's an Olympian, right? Wasn't he in the Olympics?
I don't remember if he was.
He's gonna straight up throw you around like you ain't shit, Christian.
That could be the case. I just don't remember.
He's gonna throw you around. He's like, he wasn't like the level of Kurt Angle or anything. He didn't win like a gold medal, but this dude's gonna straight up sling you around. That's another one. I wouldn't get in there with Kurt Angle either. He'll fuck you up too.
Not even if he had a broken freaking neck.
He will fuck you up.
Oh yeah, he's going to kill you.
They catch shit, but they are crazy athletes. Like for real, crazy athletes. Even if they don't look it. So yeah, that's a tough one. I can't even think of like legends in their heyday who it would be. Would you get in there with Stone Cold?
Yeah, because he got bad knees. Okay.
He's gonna flip you off, drink a beer, and still whoop that ass.
I'd take my shot if he was active because, like I said, he got bad knees.
But he's got knee braces on. What are you gonna do? Kick him in the knee brace and break your damn foot?
I kick him in the back of that knee brace so his legs give out.
Oh, you think he's gonna turn around to you?
I think I could get him.
Christian's very optimistic as he's going to prison. That's gonna be it. On the bus, going to prison. I thought I could get him.
As I'm going to prison. All right. Well,
In other words,
that's
we're
gonna
not
be
winning
it, man.
$10 million. We're screwed in this
No.
situation.
No way.
30 days is not enough time for that either.
Bro's trying to get his commissary paid for his entire life. Stay off of his reputation alone. Dude, you're absolutely right, Jordan. You're absolutely right.
Good.
I have 30 pounds on him. Give him a fighting chance. That's fair. But anyway, that's going to be all for tonight.
Yep.
We have completely run out of time. I know that I've got to get going, so we're going to wrap this thing up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week. Thank you, Jordan, for another last call question. If you'd like to get your question featured in last call, be sure to join the Discord server. There's a section to join or to drop your last call questions or to drop cinema suggestions for us to add to our list. You can do that there, as well as do episode chat and all that fun stuff and things. Or hit us up on social media at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIM with Sin, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, all that stuff. Hit us up there, drop a line, and drop the suggestions, last call questions, and cinema and all that stuff. Or shows. We don't have a name for that, so yeah, whatever. Throwback shows for us to check out and go through and talk about and all that good stuff. New episodes come out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and my YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. And then we record these episodes now Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time. So 8 a.m. in the morning, you get last week's episode. The new episode drops, and then we will record the following week's episode that night. So there you go, back to back, all the Sippin' With Sin on Wednesdays. Yeah, we out here Wednesdays with Sippin' With Sin, I guess. I don't know what it is. Whatever. But there you go. Go show the episode some love on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that. Thumbs up, subscribe, follow, share with a friend, all that. Keep spreading the word. Keep sharing it. We appreciate it very much. It's why we keep going. You guys keep coming back. So please keep helping the podcast grow and doing all the fun stuff and things. And come watch it live on Kick, kick.com/IamSinister on Wednesday nights. Come over here and hang out with us. They seem to have fun in chat, talking about everything and trying to derail us more than we derail ourselves. So do that. But you can find me on my socials, Sippin' With Sin, or not Sippin' With Sin. That's the show we're on currently. IamSinister TV. Wow. Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. IamSinister TV. Also twitch.tv/IamSinister TV. Wow, I can't talk. YouTube.com/IamSinister. And then, of course, kick.com/IamSinister, where I stream pretty much every day. You can also find my other podcast, Behind the Vocals, which has got some fun episodes coming up soon. Can't announce anything yet, but they are getting finalized. And you can find those Behind the Vocals on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and youtube.com/IamSinister as well. That's where you can find me. Christian, where can the lovely folks find you?
You guys can find me on my Instagram. That is TikTok. My full name, Christian Vincent. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like social media that much. So it's only...
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. Hope you had a good time. Next week, we have stuff to talk about homicidal turkeys and such and things and whatever else we get to. So, you know the drill. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Time to shut it down for the week. And Christian, lock the doors tight.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Sippin' With Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review, do all the YouTube stuff, do all the Spotify stuff, do all the things that you do with all the podcasts you listen to. We love you guys so much for that. We do read those reviews, so make sure you're leaving those. With that said, I'm going to leave you guys with 3 words. 3 words I leave you with every episode. Those 3 words are as follows. Listen carefully now. If you heard it before, say them with me. If you've never heard them, listen. It might save your life. Those words are, don't get gutted.
Let us know if you want that on a merch design, and we'll see you guys next week.